It's time now for the World Brief and a review of some headlines from today's newspapers around the world. Let's start in the United States, where President Donald Trump says that he hopes Russia and Ukraine will make a deal this week as Vladimir Putin's Easter truce expired, with the two countries blaming each other for breaking it. Now, the Russian leader said that he had ordered his forces to stop all military activity along the front line for 30 hours from 6 p.m. on Sunday until midnight, on Saturday until midnight on Sunday. But on Sunday evening, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said the Russian army had violated Putin's ceasefire more than 2,000 times during the day. Now, Trump wrote on his Truth Social platform that hopefully Russia and Ukraine will make a deal this week, and both will then start to do big business with the US. Let's take a look at this photograph now. It's a poignant image of a 9-year-old amputee from Gaza, which is the 2025 World Press Photo of the Year. Mahmoud Ajour lost both arms in an Israeli airstrike. His portrait was taken by Palestinian photographer Samar Abu Elouf for the New York Times. And finally, the Democratic Republic of Congo has suspended former President Joseph Kabila's political party and ordered his assets seized over accusations of supporting Rwandan-backed rebels in the east. Now, the ban comes amid reports that Kabila had returned to the country to seek a solution to the end of the war. That's after spending 2 years studying in South Africa. It is believed that he returned to the town of Goma, which was seized by Rwandan-backed M23 in January. Now, 53-year-old Kabila, who ruled from 2001 to 2019 and only stepped down after deadly protests against him, has said that he wants to return to Congo to seek a solution to the end of this war. Now, he handed power over to Felix Tshisekedi, the official winner of a disputed election, which many observers said was rightfully won by Martin Fayulu. Now, fast forward to today, and Ferdinand Kambere, who is the secretary of Kabila's Party for Reconstruction and Democracy, called the suspension a flagrant violation of Congo's constitution and laws. Those are your stories from around the world. Love to hear your thoughts.
Thank you so much. Very unfortunate to see that for another Easter, first of all, that the Russia-Ukraine war persists, and that for another Easter, this Easter truce has again been violated. Of course, in the past, Russia has not actually agreed to it. Ukraine has always been interested in engaging in the Easter truce. Now, what's the significance of it is that Russia, Ukraine are both highly orthodox nations.
Yes.
And we know that they take breaks from fighting during Christmas as well, especially when the snow is heavy. Fighting always seems to slow down, but they always ensure to stop to reflect during those Christian holidays as Orthodox nations. Now, what's going on? Russia is alleging that Ukraine was the aggressor. Ukraine is alleging that Russia was the aggressor. We'll never really know who challenged who, but it's unfortunate that during that period that Orthodox would take a break to make sure they observe Mass and do all the traditional rites, that fighting was going on. I want to take more time to focus on the Democratic Republic of Congo and what they're calling the return of the commander, which is also just a reminder of what war looks like in the era of social media, because propaganda is so heavy. Now, we don't know whether Joseph Kabila is actually in Goma or not.
Right.
There are videos circulating, which many are debunking and saying, no, these are old videos, this is not true, this is so forth. But the Rwandese official newspaper, the New Rwanda Times, published these videos. If you see the comments under this, it was very murky waters, yes, because people said, of course, we expect Rwanda to push this type of publicity. Anyway, just to give a little bit of a historical context, Joseph Kabila became president after his father, Laurent Kabila, was assassinated by his bodyguard. Now, why was his father assassinated? Allegedly, he was assassinated for going into a truce, a relationship of some sort, an alliance with Paul Kagame of Rwanda. Now, the bodyguard who assassinated Laurent Kabila had been part of the Kadogos. That was the group of guerrilla fighters who had fought with Laurent Kabila to overthrow Mobutu Sese Seko. Now, if you remember, Mobutu Sese Seko is one of the architects of this crisis. They say that it was Mobutu Sese Seko's administration that first began to marginalize Eastern Congo. So you can see the significance of Laurent Kabila fighting Mobutu Sese Seko to become president, being assassinated for his allegiance to Rwanda, as we know Rwanda stands with Eastern Congo, and then passing on that torch to his son. Anyway, his son, Joseph Kabila, was then defeated in an election, question mark, by Felix Tshisekedi, but they went into a coalition of some sort until they fell out of love with each other in the early 2020, sorry,
exactly.
and then 2021, after which Joseph Kabila went into exile. And what did Felix Tshisekedi do? He granted pardon to all of those who had been said to be co-conspirators in the assassination of Laurent Kabila, just to show you that Joseph Kabila is persona non grata in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Well, what does this do? This poses a potential escalation to the crisis. Who is backing Joseph Kabila? What is his intention in returning? Are we going to see a resurgence of heavy fighting, M23 backed by Rwanda in that region? And of course, there's also the renewed ethnic tension as well around it. So I really do truly hope that the region can come together to temper things down, because this looks like it'll lead to a potential escalation.
Dr. Ube?
Okay, let me start with the World Press Photo Award won by Elof of New York Times. She's based in Doha, and she took this photograph, which has been given this award, 2 runners-up. And look, Susan Sontag, she was born Susan Rosenblatt. She later became Susan Lee Sontag, is a leading authority on photography in our field of study. She wrote in 1977 a book titled On Photography. Some of the chapters in that book talk about photography as art, and then one particular chapter talks about looking at war, devastation, death, and all of that in the context of war. And our main argument is that, look, photography tells you how to view the world. People don't just have experience, but, they like to remember how they see the world in terms of the picture. So that's Susan Sontag, so that I don't become too pedantic, just to summarize, argument in that particular book. And when I saw this picture, it reminded me of what she said about photography. Now, this is a very compelling, very graphic image of the devastation, of the war, of the death, of the experience of the Palestinian people in Gaza, who have lost over 51,000 persons since that conflict began between Israel and Hamas. Over 11,000 people displaced, devastation and all of that. And this young man also reminds us again about, how people who are hard to combat, that is, persons who are not involved in the conflict, have also suffered as a result of war, majorly women, children. Yeah. There was an airstrike, and this young man lost both arms. Now, the mother is quoted as having heard from him saying, "Mom, will I be able to ever hug you again?" That statement is haunting. It just encapsulates, crystallizes the terror, the danger that people are going through in that part of the world. And this is an innocent young man, 9-year-old. He was not part of the conflict. And now Mahmoud Ajor has lost both arms. The young man said another thing. He said he would like to have prosthetics, I think that's what they call it, so that he too will be able to live like other young men. And I think that the international community, with this World Press Photo Award that has brought him to the attention of the world, has an obligation to come to his rescue to help him. But more importantly, we're again poignantly reminded of the evil of war. Absolutely. Nobody wins in any war. And the people who lose most are usually ordinary, innocent persons who are in the technical world under international human rights law are, hard to combat. Now, to go to very quickly to the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Now, President Putin declared a 30-hour Easter truce, for there to be peace. But that ended at 2100 GMT yesterday. That's GMT on our side. And there was bombardment, heavy bombardment of Kiev and other parts in eastern and northern Ukraine, which means, of course, that all that talk about truce, about ceasefire, does not appear to be working. Although Putin had been very clear. He's saying that, look, the frontline attacks will continue because he is making specific demands. He's saying that the Ukraine army should limit its size. He is saying that Ukraine should forget about joining NATO. He is saying that the 4 provinces that have been taken over by Russia, including southern Crimea, should be given to Russia. Now, on Friday, we now had President Trump saying that, look, the way this thing is going, if Russia and Ukraine, if they don't reach agreement about ceasefire, that America will just walk away, right? Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, repeated the same sentiment. And my own conclusion is that this is just the hypocrisy of the United States again. Because this weekend, Ukraine signed a memorandum of intent to hand over Ukraine's natural resources to the United States, which was the selfish interest of the United States in this matter. In November 2024, China, having banned export of its rare earth materials to the United States, the U.S. now is looking in the direction of Ukraine. And with that memorandum of intent, it looks like President Putin has already collected what he wants from Ukraine. So I see a lot of hypocrisy here. So if Trump wants to walk away, it doesn't matter anymore. If they want to kill themselves, let them kill themselves. He already has a commitment from Zelensky to hand over the natural resources of Ukraine to the United States. Very briefly and quickly, Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, Joseph Kabila was president of the Democratic Republic of Congo for 18 years, succeeded his father after his father's assassination in 2001. He left in 2019, right? In 2019, he had this pact with Felix Tshisekedi. Now, they fell apart. Okay, he went to South Africa. He said that was in 2023 or 2021? Now, to go and get a PhD. He attended the University of Johannesburg, and he got a PhD in political science. Now, they say, oh, he's coming back home, and it's politics. It's all politics. African leaders not trusting each other. So they say, oh, he has returned to Goma, which is in the eastern region, and that, oh, he's supporting the M23. But it's not been confirmed that he's in Goma. It's not been confirmed that he has actually returned. The PPRD, his political party, yes, has not issued any statement. He himself has not spoken. But the PPRD has said, well, maybe President Kabila will speak to us within days, and then he will respond, and he will confirm whether he's inside DRC or he's still in South Africa. So Dr. Kabila, I think we should wait to hear from him before we reach any conclusions. But for now, what is clear is that this is about politics.
Agreed. Well, thank you both for your wonderful submissions. Let's move on now to newspaper headlines across Nigeria. And let's start with This Day. Now, This Day leads with the news that in the next 6 months, that's by October 2025, the North will decide its stance on the 2027 elections. That's according to Hakeem Baba Ahmed, who is the immediate past special advisor on political matters to President Tinubu. According to him, no politician can win the Nigerian presidency without the North. Now, the New Telegraph leads with an Easter message from the Archbishop of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Sokoto, Matthew Hassan Kuka, as he appealed to President Tinubu to bring us down from this cross, he says, referring, of course, to the killings and insecurity that has recently taken place across Nigeria from Edo to Plateau and Benue. And it's that insecurity that leads The Guardian. Despair in Benue and Plateau as killings hit over 284 in 3 months. There are also claims that these killings have the potential to undermine the president's bid for re-election in 2027. Now, both The Nation and The Vanguard also dedicate their front pages to the unrest in Plateau. The Punch, however, is leading with an interest boom as 9 Nigerian banks made a combined interest income of 14.26 trillion naira in 2024. First Bank, Guaranteed Trust Holding Company, which is GTB, right? Zenith Bank, UBA, FCMB, Fidelity, Stanbic, IBTC, Access Holdings, and Wema Bank are the aforementioned 9 banks. Now, last week, we did discuss the Nigerians listed among Time Magazine's 2025 most influential list. And today, we are discussing another amazing achievement by a formidable Nigerian. Let's take a look at the front page of Forbes, which has its 2025 30 under 30 in Europe. And on the front cover is Michelle Adepoju, who is the founder and creative director of Kilenta, which is a fantastic fashion brand. Now, Michelle is one of the few Africans to grace the cover this year, and the recognition is a testament to how far African fashion has come and the global presence it now commands. Now, her work continues to redefine contemporary African craftsmanship and challenge what luxury fashion actually looks like. Now, in her Forbes interview, Michelle did say that when we think of luxury, it's usually Chanel or Hermes, but we are putting African craftsmanship on the map for luxury fashion. So a huge congratulations to Michelle Adepoju and the entire Kilenta team. Huge congratulations to her.
Congratulations. I'm glad we can have at least just a little bit of positive news.
Absolutely.
Because it has been a bit of a dark Easter. Just to reiterate some of those front pages of the newspapers that we've seen as several communities in Nigeria were unable to have a real memorable, solemn, what Easter is supposed, because Easter is not supposed to be a jaye kind of event, but it's supposed to be an opportunity for people to be able to go and just reflect on, Jesus dying for us on the cross, the sacrifice and what that meant. But many were in mourning, unfortunately, and those who were not in mourning and unfortunately couldn't really afford much. So generally a gloomy Easter across the board. Okay,
again, just to piggyback on this fashion story.
Oh.
Yeah, Michelle Adepoju. Yes, congratulations to her. Another diamond. Adepoju is a Yoruba name. So she's from Nigeria, definitely. And you said a fashion group is called Kilenta.
Yes.
Kilenta means, what are you selling? And, it's very refreshing on a Monday morning to hear that, Michelle Adepoju is selling something valuable to the world, making a difference. And the recognition by Forbes, just again, reiterates, draws attention again to the dynamism of Nigerian youths. I mean, this is a space in which we have Michelle Adepoju in fashion. We have many others. In other areas, we have Burna Boy, we have Davido, we have, everybody, young people who are doing things and who are showing that despite the banditry, the insurgency, either in Borno State or in Plateau State or Benue State, this country still has something of value to give to the world. And these young persons, whether it's Michelle Adepoju or Chimamanda Adichie, representing us very well, they give us hope.
Absolutely.
They are the real substance of hope in this country.
Agreed.
And I congratulate her and congratulate everyone else who falls into that category.
Absolutely.
And that they are Nigerians, not Zimbabweans. Makes me very happy.
I have my leg in both places, so I get to celebrate as well.
Congratulations, Michelle. That's all we've got.